All right, wonderful. Well, I will get us started off tonight. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our PBS training with Ashley. Doesn't that have a nice ring to it? Um, Tonight, we've got some fun Yoast information for you. I know some of us struggle with Yoast, so tonight's going to be very helpful. And Ashley's we got a big, long, messy wine page to go through. Does that sound familiar? Exactly. So what we're going to do is she'll do a lot of screen sharing. We're going to go through the Yoast bit by bit by bit. And for those of you that may be new, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is really about PBS on Thursdays. So that's where we're going here. And really, Yoast is a tool that's going to help you, as you'll see. So I'm not going to dig into that. But Ashley's been here for a little bit. She's one of our MSIs, and she's learned how to mess with her pages and use Yoast to help her get to where she wants to get with them. And so she's one of the best here to help us with that. And Ashley, go ahead and take it away. And thank you for sharing your expertise tonight.
Thank you very much, Shane. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right, can we see that okay?
Yep.
Well, not you. Talking to Andy.
Go for it.
All right.
Looks good. Looks good.
Thanks, Andy. All right. So this page has actually been modified. It's been, reworded to be the own words. It's not a copy of Rory's anymore, but there's some issues with it because, we have to please Google. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the SEO and the readability. This is the Yoast. And we're going to figure out what's missing, what needs to be fixed, and how we're going to fix it. So, all right. Here's the SEO. You can find that down here. It's also on the right side of your computer as well. If you cannot locate it at the bottom, sometimes it may show up on the right-hand side as well, depending on what type of computer you have. So
what's
down
SEO
here,
stand for?
Search Engine Optimization.
And that's really all we need to know, right? Just it has to do with search engines. And we want to follow the rules.
Correct.
Thank you.
Come down here in the SEO, and we're going to figure out what our issues are and what we need to fix. So here it's telling us there's different colors. There's the red, there's the orange, and there's the green. Green means good. You want green. Orange means it's okay. Red means there's something wrong. You need to fix it. And we're going to go over, you don't need to fix everything that's red or orange and stuff like that. Just want to be overall green. So right now for our SEO, if you come back up at the top, it's gray. So we're missing some things. So we need to figure out what we're missing. Okay. So internal links. No internal links appear in this page. And there's no focus key phrase that was set for this page. And then also single title. There's too many headline ones. You should only be using that for the main title. So those are 3 different things that we can work on to fix this, to get this green. The first thing I'm going to do is the key phrase, because that's the easiest one to fix. So if we come back up here, where your focus key phrase is, you want this to be, let me go look at what my key phrase is first. Which is wine passion. So I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to type in wine passion. And look at that already. It turned it green. Wow, that's amazing. That's all I had to do to get that green. Now, I know some people are perfectionists and they want to, make everything green. You really don't have to. You really want to just, make sure that the overall SEO analysis is green and the readability is green, and you're good to go. But if you do want to fix some things in here, you can do that as well. But we're going to play with readability right now, because that's pretty much where I know I struggle, and a lot of other people struggle as well, with transition words and passive voice. Right now it's saying passive voice is pretty good on this, which is weird because I suck at passive voice as well. But transition words, yeah, it's red. And it's like, yeah, no, you suck, you need to fix that. So the first thing that I do when I didn't know what transition words were was I actually just clicked on it. And I got brought to a page where it explains what they are and how to use them. And I just kind of went through it, you know, read about it, used that, took it back to my page, and used those words in there to make it make sense. And honestly, it didn't make sense to me, but if that's what it wanted, that's what I was going to do. I do not talk in a passive voice, and transition words are, you know, hard for me as well because, you know, I talk like me. But if you come here, there's so much information on this page that you can look over, go through, and it'll give you a list of different like transition words that you can use to put into your, you know, your pages. Like, you know, firstly, secondly, things like that, or however, in conclusion, therefore. Those are just different words that you can just go back to your site and type in the paragraph. So you've already did your modifications. You just want to go through. Well, actually, let me go back down here and show you. There's this little eyeball here. If you click on that, it's going to show you. It's not going to show me because this is in classic and not block. So hang on one sec.
And you didn't learn using those transition words the very first time, did you? Did it take a little bit going back and forth to that till you caught on to it?
It did. It took me to every time that I did a new page, I actually had to keep on clicking on this to remember what the transition words were. And then after, you know, doing it a certain amount of time, I started to remember, okay, it's furthermore, in conclusion, you know, therefore, however, things like that. It just started to make sense. And then now I can just add those in because I know what words they're looking for. And it helped me because I just clicked on this little thing here and it took me there and told me exactly how to do it. And also the little eye over here helped me as well because it's going to highlight sentences for me. And I'm going to come up. It's moving a little slow, sorry. I'm just going to add. It's going to show me where my transition words are, but it's going to also, like in here, show me where they're not. So I need to come in here and figure out what I can add in to get more transition words to up the percentage. I'm just going to read this paragraph here and figure out where I can throw in a word or two that's going to help it. Right here, I'm going to put therefore. Does it make sense? It should highlight it. There it goes. And I just added a transition word. So it highlighted it to let me know I had one there. And now I'm going to move on to like another paragraph to find somewhere else to throw another transition word into because we want to get the percentage up. That's the whole point, so that it goes green. So here in this paragraph here where it says if you have not, I strongly recommend it. So I'm going to write furthermore, just with the comma. And then it'll highlight it because that's another transition word, which it gives you on that page that I was talking about. It will say it in here. You'll see the different transition words that they give you, for example, down here. And like here's therefore, as a result, consequently, that is to say, in other words, but or however, Above all, there's so many different, examples that they give you when you click on that little thing there that will explain what a transition word is. And you just, go throughout your page and add those in there. And it'll highlight it. Once you click on that eye, it'll highlight it to let you know that it added it there. Let's just come down. Let's see if that made it any better.
And it sounds like you mix it up a little. You don't just use the same one over and over again.
Nope, I do mix it up because if you don't, you're going to actually get consecutive sentences, which is another thing down in the readability that you want to keep green. So you kind of want to
mix it up.
Yeah, therefore mix it up. Consequently mix it up. All right, so we still need to add more. It's still saying that it's only 19%. So here, I'm going to just put above all. And these transition words are so easy to use because you're just saying something before you're saying something anyway. So if that makes sense, I know it probably didn't.
So the question I have, how are you deciding where it's needing one?
Where it's needing a transition word?
Yes.
So with the little eyeball down at the bottom, when you click on it, it highlights where you have transition words. So you already know where they are, and you'll see like big blocks of space that don't have them, or big paragraphs that don't have transition words at all. So you just kind of want to go into those paragraphs and, add some transition words in there. So like, the word however, or but, or therefore, or above all, in conclusion.
So you're just kind of reading the big blocks that don't have and finding a spot within that spot to sneak it in?
Correct.
Okay.
Which it helps me, and I get it green. Then I don't have to worry about it.
And it's all green.
And it's all green, and that's, you really don't have to worry about trying to get everything green. That's not what Google wants. They just want to see that you're overall green. It's readable, and it has what they want.
And who's they?
Google.
Just checking.
Let's see.
It does help to please Google, doesn't it?
It does. And now look, I have to go back here to find another word. Here we go. I'll use importantly now. So I'm going to come here. Something's different. This because it has to make sense. Where did you take that? Maybe I should put more.
I think you put it in the middle of a sentence.
What?
Having a special wine was part of the sentence, and I think you went in and put it in the middle of the sentence.
Therefore, you should fix it. See, I'm stuck on therefore. I'm going to have to get a longer list.
But
I had to unmute someone. They said the host muted me.
That was Andy.
I didn't.
It was
I
you,
did.
Jane.
However, you are green and green now, so you're
I
good.
am green and green.
Yes.
Look at that. See, you see how that little eyeball just helped me out? And all I had to do was add just a couple of, howevers and therefores, and we're not going to talk about importantly because that one didn't take, but that's pretty much just how you want to go through it and get through, and just follow what it tells you. Each one you can click on and you can actually see what it is. It's going to explain what it is and how to change it and how to fix it.
So Ashley, for the most part, do you tackle one at a time, or do you sometimes mix up a couple green or a couple reds? Understand what I'm asking?
So no, what I mostly do is I fix what I know I can fix to get it green. Transition words for me are better than passive voice. I do speak in passive voice. It's very hard for me to get that fixed. So I'll focus more on transition words. But if I have to, I will, do the same thing with passive voice. I'll go in, look at what I need, how I need to fix it, and just do the same thing. But yeah, mostly I just focus on what I know how to fix and how to fix it. But everything here.
Sounds like you do tackle one at a time. You tackle the transition words first, and then see where it's at. Okay, that's kind of what I was asking. All right, perfect.
Those for me work better. I understand those easier. So once I get those done, and if it turns it green, then I'm like, okay, I'm good. But yeah. So on the SEO, it says it's green, but it says there's no internal links. You do kind of want to have your Find Wines page, though, go to another page in your website, because all roads lead to wine. So you do kind of want to put like something in there to lead to another page in your website, which you can just add it and hyperlink that, which could be another training that we can go over. But you definitely, if you do see that, I do recommend putting an internal link in as well.
What's the difference between an internal and an external link? Because often you're going to see both reds, huh?
Yeah, so an internal link is a link that's leading to another page in your website. An external link is actually leading to a page outside of your website. So for example, with your wine ambassador link, that's actually leading to the wine ambassador page where they can go ahead and sign up, put their information in. The internal link is going to take them from one page of your system to, or let's say we're talking about wine and you have something in there that's now about weight loss, it's going to take them to the weight loss page. That's an internal link. It's leading them to another page within your website.
Do we need to pay attention to opening in tabs or not opening in tabs when we're with each of those?
Yes, so for an external link, you want to make sure that you're opening up in a new tab. And the reason for that is because when they're done buying or done browsing or whatever they're doing and they close out of that tab, they come directly back to your website. You always want them to come back to your website. Internal link, you don't want to do that because if it's opening up in a whole bunch of tabs, if they're on your website looking, you're going to get annoyed. So you kind of want to just, open up and don't open up in a new tab if you're going within an internal link. Hope that makes sense, and if it doesn't, Shane, maybe you can explain it.
Oh, that's what I was asking. This is now, even though this page is green, is it good to go? I think you saw
it is not good. It is not good to go, even though it is green, especially for Google AdSense. There are way too many pictures on this page. So for this particular page to be ready for Google, we want a 2-page minimum. I mean, a 2-picture minimum, not 2 pages, sorry, 2-picture minimum. So you do want to, pick your pictures wisely, make them as small as possible. Do not have them way too big. Leave enough space because Google wants to see that they have a place to place their ads.
So let me ask you one more question, Ashley. What's the most important thing you have to remember when you make a change?
I love you, Andy. You have to click that update button.
There you go.
Look at him watching and keeping me on my toes. I love that because, and that's a really good point for him to bring up. You know how many times that I have not clicked that update button and lost everything that I did, or my computer, I didn't realize my computer wasn't charging and everything just went blank. And I'm like, oh my God, I just sat here for 2 hours and lost everything. So yes, do make sure you click that update button as much as possible. Now, this is also supposed to be the Fine Wines video. It's showing here is not available. This needs to be updated. I'm going to show you the way that I do it. There may be other ways that other instructors teach. But I'm just gonna, if I can. I don't know how this video is in here. No! Oh, I just messed something up, but you know what? Just hit the undo button and you'll get it back. And the undo button is up here. That's what I just clicked on. It's the little arrow that's pointing to the left. And then let me make sure I update so I don't lose that. Thank you, Andy. But yeah, I'm trying to get rid of this video here that says the video is unavailable, but it won't let me.
Try putting your cursor right right before the video, in the paragraph before, right before there. Put it after the word value, and then hit the delete key. See if that'll do it.
Are you using a Mac, Andy? I don't know.
No.
Well, it did something, but it didn't move the video.
One more time.
Oh, look at you. There you go. All right. So we do have to add a new video here. Anytime that we get a new video or anything like that, it is always updated on Home with Tanya or 1F16 for those of you who are VIPs. So I'm just going to go to Home with Tanya, not Home Depot. I don't know why I'm going to the thank you page, but that's not it. So I'll just go to 1F16. The same video. And you can just come directly to Rory's site over here on the right hand side. Can you guys see this, or is this box?
Yes.
Okay. Come over here and just search lines. That's what I do. So on top, and you're going to come up with the find lines delivered to your door page. I know others teach it a different way, but this is how it works for me. I just come here, I copy the embed code back to the page, and I'm just going to open up the block in the paragraph. I know others teach it different. And then I do Control P to paste it. And then voila, there we go, we have the video. Now there might be others that teach it to make it a little smaller, or I want that video to stand out because I really want them to watch it and see it. I don't want it kind of small, so but that's how I get it. Just put it in there, update. And there is another way to get the code actually to add it in, which I think there was another training done on how to do that.
Ashley, click on your video. Click on the video.
To play it or to?
No, just click on it. Okay, it's not going to work like that. So you see the arrow right there at the top in your box? You want that up above, choose your path. Move your arrow up. You see it? Top in the box. Over.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. There you go.
There you
now
go.
You got it.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, wait, what is showing me too? Update that again.
And look what happened to your readability.
I see that. What is going on? Andy, you did something.
I didn't do it. Shane did it.
Transition words. Now only 19.8%. Oh, okay. And then subheading distribution. Which are the lesser two evils do I want to work with here?
Put your subheading in and that'll make it back. That'll bring it back.
And that's where I was going. And like you'll just put your subheading and it'll fix it. Only thing with that, it doesn't give you an eye to look to see where the paragraphs are too long, so you have to kind of go look. And it's probably right around here.
Yep.
And the reason why I know that because there's so many words that are smaller. So here I'll put line and and the reason why I chose that is because down here it's talking about used to celebrate and reflect on one's life. So that's my subheading. Did it turn me green? No. So that probably wasn't where it was. Pictures. So many of them. I'm going to turn this into a subheading. See if that fixes it. No,
So what you're
there it
what
goes.
you're saying is you're working on stuff. You got to keep an eye on those lights because they change as you change things.
Yeah, sometimes that will happen. They'll like something else that you did, but won't like it for another thing, and they'll just turn it back to a different color. So yeah, but we fixed it. I'm gonna update.
And then there's also some that doesn't come up in Yoast, but it's important. You saw within here, it's saying wine ambassador. Is that a good thing?
No. So, I mean, you can, but Rory teaches you really don't want to. You don't want to give away the company that you're talking about because you're doing so much work getting people to your website, you know, and then to Andy, I'm going to get you. You're doing so much, you know, work to get them to your website. You don't want them to come to your website, read everything and go, oh, so this company is with Wine Ambassador? Oh, let me go read the reviews. Let me go look at this. You want to actually have them click on your link and take them to you directly. You know, you don't want them to go look up the company or anything like that. So really what I would say is don't mention the company name. I would say something along the lines of our wine of the month club or our wine club or something like that. I wouldn't really mention the company. Let them read what you have here, let them watch the video, and really want to get going, and then they'll click on your link and they'll go to sign up that way. Don't lead them down a rabbit hole. And another thing is, I just want to add, I would actually have this video a little further up. I'd probably put it around here somewhere. I want them to see that. People rather listen than read. That's just the way it is today. So I would probably put that video up just a little bit more.
So not everything's all about Yoast, but Yoast is very helpful in getting it prepared for Google, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
And we're still green to
We're
go?
still green. We're green. Let me make
Yeah.
sure I update it again.
All right. Anything you want to add? This was very helpful. So thank you, Ashley, and thank you for sharing. Very helpful.
No, I'm just going to stop my share. Is there any questions in the chat? All right. Let me start slowly. I'm having trouble with it. You always gonna. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't able to read the chat while I was sharing my screen. Sorry about that, but I will take questions. So I'm gonna unmute you guys as you ask your questions. So I have Alicia Jellison. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
No, you said it correctly.
Okay.
I saw how you did the video. I was wondering, do you always go to Tanya's website in order to get the videos that you need in order to put them on your page, or do you do it differently each and every time?
So there's different sites that Rory has that you can actually go to. He does the videos for us. He does the heavy lifting. You know, why try to do it yourself if he's already done it? So I just go and snag it from either Home with Tanya or 1F16 and just add it to my site because Rory knows how to get people to buy. I don't. Rory does. So, excuse me. So I rather, you know, use the video that he's using because he's been doing this for 30 years and he knows exactly what he's doing. So I just do what he says and I take the videos that he does and put them on my site. I hope that makes sense. Or if
Yes, it
Shane
makes
has
perfect
anything
sense.
to add to that or Andy.
No, I agree fully. The only thing is his rory3.com is going to have more and more newer pages. So Home with Tanya is what we all start with.
Sorry.
Rory3 will have additional, so you might look at all three.
I keep forgetting about that one. Sorry, guys. Yeah, rory3.com too. All right.
Good question.
Thanks.
And Dina. I'm coming. Hold on. There you go.
Hello. Is there any reason we need to like change out our photos on a particular page like over time?
What do you
want me to
mean
take that
change?
one?
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm like, what?
Things change on the internet. So when we started 3, 4, 5 years ago, we could have a ton of pictures. Now Google's thinking they're competing with their advertisements that they're going to put on our pages. So they really want to see small pictures, not a whole lot of them, maybe 2 at the most. And they don't really want it to look like an advertisement. They want it to be an enhancing picture for the page, not more like looking like an ad. So usually it comes down to Google and decisions they make. And I think they just like to mix things up, to change things across the board periodically. And because they're king, we want to follow. So does that kind of answer what you're asking?
Absolutely.
As far as them being the same as what Rory has on his, Google doesn't seem to care yet. Mark my words, yet. So they can be the same pictures, but sometimes it's the easiest way too to personalize your pages by getting your own pictures on there too.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, good question.
Absolutely, Dina, anytime. And there's not a question, but there's someone said that there's also a direct sellers link in one of the blocks. Yes, I do know that. This is an old account that I'm using for tonight's training. That it's going to be fixed. No worries. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just a comment about Dina. I change my photos regularly. I'm just weird that way. I change the colors on my site. I like for people who come to my site to see something different.
Me too, Andy. I agree.
So I change it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It makes it your own.
Right.
So I have a question, Ashley. You mentioned about using the eyeball for transition words and the fact that when you click on the eyeball, it shows you where the transition words are. So what if you use the eyeball for passive voice or
shows you
for
the
other
total
things?
opposite.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows
And you
you
know
the
what?
total opposite with passive voice. It will show you where you have a lot of passive voice at, and that's where you need to work in. So great question, Joel. That's actually something that should have been covered as well. I just didn't have a lot of passive voice on that page, so kind of, didn't think about that. So when you're using the eyeball for passive voice, it will come up and highlight where you have a lot of passive voice, and that's where you need to change it, as opposed to how I just showed you to change it with transition words. So it's the opposite.
And I tell you what, when I first started, I would go through use that eyeball for everything. I use it for the transition words. I keep thinking, why is this decreasing? Why? And so then I realized, now I know it's the opposite. So that's a really important thing to remember.
So the eyeball for passive voice is actually going to show you where you need to change things for passive. The eyeball for Transition words is going to show you where you have them and then you can just pick paragraphs to change them in there. So great question, Joel. Thank you so much for that. All right, Joanne.
Yes, I noticed on Shane's page, you had the SEO readability, and then you had this SCHEMA, and then your social tab.
Oh, what was that again?
Down here on your page, you have the SEO tab, your readability, and I noticed on his website, he had a SCHEMA tab, and then the social. What is the SCHEMA?
I don't know.
Because it's not on your page.
Nothing that we're using. Do not worry about it.
Okay, I just wondering, I just noticed it was on his, so I was just wondering if I was missing something. But I thank you very much, and the training was very helpful tonight, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And Alicia, again, they're going to put him probably on his YouTube channel. So get with your instructor. They can probably direct you to his YouTube channel for these trainings. They're going to be putting them all in one spot. All right, and then we have Renee. Go ahead, Renee.
Hi. I just wanted to ask you, when it comes to our One Ambassador pages, are we not supposed to be using the memes from Gavin so that we kind of look uniform when it comes to that?
Oh, absolutely. You want to use the memes.
Okay.
This was just an account I was using that was older to show you guys transition words and passive voice and things like that. But yes, definitely from recent training and other trainings, you definitely want to use your memes on your pages.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Super job.
All right. So I think that's all of our questions that we have for tonight. If no one else has a question, one thing that I do want to ask, guys, if you can get in the chat and let me know what you're struggling with and what you need help with, so we can, because I'm going to be on for the rest of the month training. Let me know what you guys want help working on and doing. Just put it in the chat for me if you can.
Let's keep them PBS related for Thursdays, but you can also do
PBS.
Saturday if you have Saturday topic. We can stop the recording, but thank you, Ashley. This was very helpful. I mean, your knowledge, you've learned a lot over the years, and like you said, you learn from doing it, right?
Yep. Thanks, Shane.
Yes.